What is step 2 of the 8-step pattern? For those of you who don't know me, my name's Jeff Gamble. I'm actually a traditional business owner, also former network marketer, and currently a John C. Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach. And what I want to talk to you about today is what is the second step of the 8-step pattern. Now, there's 8 steps. So step number 1 we went over in the last video, which was defining your dream. Step 2 is making some commitments, and that's what we're going to go over tonight. Step 3, your list. Basically, make your list. Step 4, invite and contact. Step 5, present. Step 6, follow through. Step 7, counsel and actually do a map each month with your designated team, support team, upline, whatever you want to call it, and then repeat and teach this cycle, step 8. So, step 2, make some commitments. This, I wish somebody would have gone over a little bit better with me. The fact that you're actually getting into business. When you enter into direct sales, network marketing, MLM, join a company, whatever you call it, you're actually entering into business. Business. Business is not, I sell a little widget or whatever. It's actually a transaction. What are you really trying to do? You know, I love what Eric Worre says we're doing. It's getting a lot of people to do a little bit over a long enough period of time to actually get the result. That's what we're doing. So we need to commit to some things. What do we need to commit to? And these are just things that I was taught through the guy who developed the 8-step pattern. Number 1 commitment is basically doing this for a year. And people are like, what? What for a year? Committing to a process for a year. And people are like, why so long? Well, because in business, you're not going to make money overnight. And anybody that's promised you that you're going to make money overnight is probably not telling you the truth. It is difficult to build anything. Now, it may be simple. You may just have to talk to people about it, but it's difficult. And there's reasons why it's difficult. But I'm going to go into these 5 things. 5 things that you need to absolutely commit to actually make money, because that's the objective, make money. Get a lot of people to do a little bit over a long enough period of time. 5 things. Number 1 is listen to an audio every day. And people say, well, what the hell does that have to do with me selling a product? As far as I know, you're only going to sell products to people. And people say, well, I sell it to businesses. Then go to a business, knock on the door, and try to sell it to the door. You're going to have to sell it to a person, which means you're going to need some more skills than what you have now. Because people like to follow people who know what's going on. How do you know what's going on? You listen to an audio a day of somebody who knows what they're doing. You listen to an audio a day of Jim Rohn. You listen to an audio a day of Tony Robbins. You listen to an audio a day of Brian Tracy, Les Brown. I mean, there's all kinds of people in the professional development industry. There's probably some really great professionals inside of your company. If there aren't yet, there will be. If you commit to the process, you'd be one of them. And you can actually start that process by doing a video log like this and saying, this is what I'm learning, this is what worked, this is what didn't. So that way you can help other people through the process. But listen to an audio a day of somebody who's doing better or at the level you want to be at or better. That's how you find a mentor. Most of my mentors were actually people on audios. Most of my mentors I never physically met. I knew who they were, but they didn't know who I was. Why? Because I found them not just online, I found them on audio cassettes. That's dating myself. CDs, and now MP3s. You can go on YouTube and you can find anything. I would suggest starting with Jim Rohn. If you haven't listened to Jim Rohn, listen to everything he has, which that'll take you 6 to 12 months. And if you don't like him, there's other people out there. He'll actually refer you to other people, or ask somebody who's making the kind of money you want to make, hey, what are you listening to? And if they're not listening to anything, run. I mean, run. Run away. Out of whatever you're doing into where people are actually learning and growing. Number 2, read 10 pages a day from a good book. I'm actually reading a really good book right now. It's John C. Maxwell, Good Leaders Ask Great Questions. It's amazing. I'm actually on, I don't know, I've been doing this book for about 5 or 6 days, and I'm on chapter 5. Went through what leaders need to ask themselves. It's all self-development. is what I went over today. Questions that you need to ask yourself and make sure that you're on track before you lead other people. And if you're in a business where you lead other people, which is network marketing, direct sales, or MLM, you need as much help as you can get. So I would read 10 pages a day. So if you think about it, if you read 10 pages a day and you take a couple days off a week, if you take Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday off because those are days with family or whatever, but you read 10 pages a day, that means you're going to read about 200 pages. You're going to read 10 books. 10 books in the course of a year. Now, I know you probably haven't read a book since school. Some of you have never read a book. I know that because I've talked with you. I was one of those people. I'm raising both hands. I'm as guilty as anybody. I was not a good reader. Like, I would read a page and forget what I was doing. And then I'd go back and read a page and forget what I was doing. And then I'd read the same page again and forget what I was doing. The reason being is one of the things I think reading does that a lot of people don't actually talk a lot about is it teaches you how to focus. And people who can focus long-term on one subject or one thing are the people who make all the money. If you find yourself that you can't focus on reading a page, how the hell are you going to lead anybody in business? Good question, right? So this is how you start focusing. Read 10 pages a day. If it helps, get out a notebook. I actually take notes on my computer, but get out a notebook and physically write what you're learning. Then you'll have some content to actually put out there to help somebody else. So that's the second thing. First thing is listen, second thing is read. Third thing, attend all the events. And people say, well, they're far away. I don't care. People say, well, I can't get to everything. Get to everything you can get to. Everything. If it takes changing your schedule a little bit, do it. If it takes coming in early, do it. Get to everything. Everything that your support team says get to, get to. Well, what happens if I have to drive and sleep in the car? So what? We're talking about a 2 to 5 year plan to get the things you want, and here you are negotiating with, well, I might have to stay up an hour or later. So what? So what? What if you get to retire 10, 13, 15, 25 years before everybody else? You think you're going to give a shit about that hour? No. The people who want more are willing to do more. So that's 3. 4, buy your own product. Buy and use your own product or service. I don't care what product or service it is, but you have to be involved in actually doing and using it because that's going to give you your testimonial. That's going to give you that belief. That's going to give you the authenticity that you're doing whatever you're saying. And if you're like, I really don't like the product line we're in, that's a question you need to ask yourself. If you don't like the products that you actually have, I don't care how good your comp plan is. I don't care how good everything else seems to be. You won't be in long term because you're not authentic and people are going to find you out like that. I mean, you're going to start talking about it and people are going to know you're not using it. People know you're not buying it. People know that you're not really in, and people won't join you. And people are like, why aren't people joining me? I was like, have you used your product? You're like, no. Like, that's probably why. And they're like, that can't be, no, I'm selling at all the points. Yeah, but people can see bullshit really easy. Really easy. And you're going to give it away by not using the product. Last, you need to present. So you present. Present what? I call it STP. Share the program. Share the product or service. A lot of people call their services a product. So we'll just say product for product and service. So STP. Pretty easy to remember. Share the program. Basically presenting the opportunity to people. And then also presenting the products to them. In what order? It doesn't matter. But you have to present both, because without a product or service, it's not legal. Without a product or service, it's not legal. If you're just joining to join and there's no product or service, but people are just spending money, it's illegal. Get out, run. If you don't know if it's illegal, call the Attorney General, and they'll tell you pretty easily. They're like, no, that does not sound right. It has to have a product or service to be a legitimate company. If you're just spending money to get in, it's probably not. Run fast. Tell everybody, get out. So why is this so important? Well, when you make some commitments, and you really are doing what's going on, you're really getting in and doing these things for a year. Here's what I know. People want to get in business with people who win. People who win, who are doing it. People want to get in business with successful people. People want to get in business with people who are leaders. People want to get in business with people who have dreams. People want to get in business with people who have goals and are accomplishing them. People want to be around people who are long-term. Long-term. So with that, you get a lot of people to do a little bit over a long enough period of time, and that's how you win. So what I want to know is what you think of this method, what you think of these commitments for your business and what you do. Like this video, share it with somebody who needs it, and thanks everybody for watching.